Hello there, this is Miss Harris here to talk to you about dividing whole numbers. Okay, we'll be using 2-digit divisors and 3 and 4-digit dividends. So let's talk about your steps. Does McDonald's serve cheeseburgers raw? That is your phrase to help you remember your steps. D is for divide. You're asking yourself how many times will the divisor fit in the number. Remember that the divisor is the number outside the house knocking at the door. M is for multiply. You're going to write your multiplication on the side. When things get hard, we go to the side and multiply. Okay, and you're looking for the number that's close to the number that's your dividend. S is going to be for subtract. You're subtracting your multiplication answer from the number under the house. C is for check. To B, bring down your next number. And R is for remainder. So let's look at an easier problem. We learned problems like this in 4th grade. Remember to write what you say when you're dealing with division. That's going to help you write the problem down correctly. Write what you say. So 672 divided by 7. So I wrote what I said. Each number, you write it down as you say it, and when you say divided by, you draw your house. Okay, so we work division one step at a time. So 6, how many of 7 can I fit into 6? 6 is not big enough, so I need to tag along and make my number bigger. So now I'm looking for 67. So whatever number is knocking at the door, that's the multiplication that you need to do on the side. So 7 times 1. 7 times 2. This will help you have all of the answers that you need right in front of you. So please get in the habit of doing this. If you don't know your multiplication facts mentally. I'm looking for 67. I want to get as close as possible without going over. Okay, so the closest I can get without going over is 63. Okay, some people have a hard time knowing where their numbers go. So the first number in your multiplication is always already in your problem. Okay, now look at this multiplication line. Whatever number is on top of that line goes on top of your division line. So 9 will go on top. Make sure you put it over the 7. Always write your numbers over the last digit that you're working with. And whatever is at the bottom of your multiplication line goes at the bottom of your division line. So my next step is subtract. 7 minus 3 is 4. 6 minus 6 is 0. Now I check to see if it's another number under the house. If so, I bring it down. Now I'm looking for 42. So I have 42 over here in my answers. 7 is already in my problem. Whatever is on top of the line, 6 is on top, so it goes on top. 42 is on the bottom, so it goes on the bottom. And subtract and 0. So my answer is 96. Remember that in division, your answers are always located. Your final answer is always located on top of the house. Next problem. Write what you say. 364 divided by 14. Okay, so now we have a 2-digit divisor. I don't know 14s off the top of my head, so I'm going to the side to multiply. 14 times 1. 14 times 2. Remember, sharing is caring. 2 times 4 is 8, and 2 times 1 is 2. 4 times 3 is 12. I carry my 1. 3 times 1 is 3. Plus 1 is 4. 14 times 4. 4 times 4 is 16. Put my 6, carry my 1. 4 times 1 is 4. Plus the 1 I carried is 5. 14 times 5. 5 times 4 is 20. Put my 0, carry my 2. 5 times 1 is 5. Plus 2 is 7. 14 times 6. 6 times 4, 24. Put my 4, carry my 2. 6 times 1 is 6, plus 2 is 8. Okay, so we work division one step at a time, and don't waste all of your time going through all the numbers. If you get to do all the way to 6, you should have enough, and if not, when you get in the middle of the problem, you just keep going on the side. So I start with the 3. It's not big enough. 14 is greater than 3. I need a number that's big enough to get a group of 14. So I tag along to 36. I'm looking for 36 over here in my answers. So the closest I can get without going over 36 is 28. 14 is already in my problem. Whatever number is on top of the line, that's what goes on top of the division line. So 2 goes on top. Over the 6, because that's the last digit that I'm working with. I said into 36, not into 3. Whatever is under this line in multiplication, that's what goes under in the division problem. Okay? Please remember, you cannot take a big number from a smaller number. You have to regroup. Do not get mixed up on that. Same rules apply for subtraction. So I cross out my 3 and becomes a 2, and my 6 becomes a 16. So 16 minus 8 is 8. I check to see if it's another number under the house, so I bring it down. Now I'm looking for 84. Oh, wow, there it is. I have 84 as one of my answers. So 14 is already in the problem. Whatever is on top of the line goes on top of the division line. So 6 goes on top. Whatever is at the bottom of my multiplication problem goes at the bottom of my division problem. Subtract, and I get 0. So my answer is 26. Try another one. Write what you say. 357 divided by 21. And feel free, as you're practicing, press pause in the video, try to work it by yourself, and then press play and watch me work it. Okay, so whatever numbers on the outside, those are the multiplication problems that I need to do. Start with 1. 21 times 1. 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 2 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 1 times 3 is 3. 3 times 2 is 6. 1 times 4 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 1 times 5 is 5. 5 times 2 is 10. 1 times 6 is 6. 6 times 2 is 12. 1 times 7 is 7. 7 times 2 is 14. So I'm going to stop right there. You can keep going, but you don't want to waste all of your time doing all the multiplication. So we start division one number at a time. 3 is not big enough for 21, so I tag along. So I'm looking for 35 over here in my answers. What is the closest that I can get without going over is 21. Okay, the first 21 is already in my problem. Whatever is on top of the multiplication line, that's what goes on top of the division line. So 1 goes on top of the 5. Remember, we did not start with the 3. We started with 35. Put your answer over the last digit that you're working with. And whatever is at the bottom of my multiplication problem goes at the bottom of my division. Next step, subtract. 1 from 5 is 4. 2 from 3 is 1. I look to see if there's another digit to bring down. There is. So 147 is what I'm looking for in my answers over here in the multiplication. And I have 147. 21 is already in my problem. Whatever's on top of the multiplication goes on top of my division. Whatever is at the bottom of my multiplication goes at the bottom of my division. Subtract, and I have 0 remainders. So my answer is 17. Next problem. 3,309 divided by 29. Write what you say. 3,309 divided by 29. Okay? Whatever number is out here, outside, that's the multiplication that you do. So 29 times 1, 29 times 2, 9 times 2 is 18. Put your 8, carry your 1. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. 29 times 3. 9 times 3 is 27. Put my 7, carry my 2. 3 times 2 is 6, 7, 8. You have to know these multiplication facts. Please study your multiplication facts. 9 times 4 is 36. I put my 6, carry the 3. 4 times 2 is 8, plus 3, 9, 10, 11. 29 times 5. 9 times 5 is 45. Put my 5, carry my 4. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 4 is 14. 29 times 6. 9 times 6, 54. Put my 4, carry my 5. 6 times 2 is 12. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Okay, I'm going to stop there. So, one digit at a time. 3 is not big enough, so I tag along. 33, I'm looking for 33 over here in my multiplication. The closest I can get without going over is 29. That first 29 is already in my problem. Whatever number is on top of the multiplication line goes on top of division. So the 1 goes over the top of the second 3 because we're working with the number 33. It goes over the last digit that you're working with. Whatever's at the bottom of your multiplication goes at the bottom of your division. Subtract. You cannot take a big number from a small number. Please take your time and watch for that. So I need to regroup. The 3 becomes a 2. And the 3 becomes a 13. Whenever you're subtracting with the number 9 and you're using numbers 10 through 19, all you have to do is add those two numbers together. So 1 plus 3 is 4. So 13 minus 9 is 4. Just a quick little trick for you. Bring down my next number. Now I'm looking for 40 as an answer. The closest I can get without going over is 29 again. So again, whatever's at the top of the line, my 1. Whatever's at the bottom, my 29. Subtract. Cannot take a big number from a small number. Regroup. 4 becomes 3. 0 becomes 10. I'm subtracting by 9. So 1 plus 0 is 1. That only works for numbers 10 through 19. Don't do that with 26 or 31. Only for 10 through 19 when you subtract by 9. And 2 from 3 is 1. I look up to see if there's another digit to bring down. There is. Now I'm looking for 119. The closest I can get is 116. So this is why you need to do your multiplication before you start on the problem. That way all of your answers are over here on your paper. And all you need to do is find what you need. So whatever's on top of this multiplication line goes on top of the division. And whatever's at the bottom goes at the bottom. I subtract 9 minus 6, 3, and 0, 0. I do not have anything else to bring down. So 3 is my remainder.